Your Worship, we're live.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. We'll call this meeting to order. We begin our meeting by recognizing the First Nations, Metis, and Inuit peoples of Canada as traditional stewards and caretakers of the land. We acknowledge that the town of Wasag Beach is located within the boundaries of Treaty 18, the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, Tyonontate, and Wendat, and is the home of many First Nations, Metis, and Inuit people as part of an intricate nationhood that reaches across Turtle Island. At this time of truth and reconciliation, we welcome the opportunity to work towards new understandings and new relationships and ask for guidance in all we do. Next is disclosure of pecuniary interest. We do have one from Councillor Watson, item 8.5, and it is due to a family member owns an adjacent property. Adoption of minutes. We have our regular meeting of council minutes, September 29th, 2022. Resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting of council held September 29th, 2022 are hereby adopted as circulated. If I could have a mover and seconder, please. Councillor Kinney and Councillor Watson. Any discussion? All those in favor? And that is carried. Deputations, presentations, petitions, and public meetings. We have none. Comment and question period. Madam Clerk, did anyone register to speak today?
Thank you, Your Worship. No one has registered for today.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to unfinished business, we have none. Correspondence received for information. We have a letter from the Simcoe County District School Board, and the motion reads that Council received the letter dated October 5th, 2022 from the Simcoe County District School Board pertaining to barriers contributing to the delay of approved capital projects for information. If I can have a mover and seconder, please. Councillor Foster and Councillor Wells. Any discussion? Deputy Mayor Bray?
And just a comment that I was really happy to see that here. I think there's so many things that contribute to the delays in building, particularly building schools. And I know we're all eagerly awaiting a school for the school board to come out and say to the province that there are areas that they can help them move things forward. I think it's good timing. So thank you to the school board.
Okay, thank you. Seeing nothing else, all those in favor? And that is carried. Next is a letter from the Solicitor General, a motion that reads that Council received the letter dated October 11th, 2022 from the Office of the Solicitor General pertaining to the OPP Detachment Board, Huronia West, for information. A mover and seconder, please. Councillor Wells and Councillor Watson. Any discussion? Councillor Kinney?
Thank you, Your Worship. I just wanted to say it's nice to see they're slowly getting this together and moving forward with it, because I think it's needed because we are in the 2000s. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Seeing nothing further, all those in favor? And that is carried. We have a letter from the Township of Essa that Council received the letter dated October 11th, 2022 from the Corporation of the Township of Essa pertaining to support federal electoral boundaries for information. A mover and seconder, please. Councillor Kinney and Deputy Mayor Bray. Any discussion? All those in favor? And that is carried. Committee boards and staff reports. We will start with coordinated committee report of October 13th. Community Services, Councillor Kinney.
Thank you, Your Worship. The following are the highlights of the October 13th, 2022 Community Services section of Coordinating Committee. Committee opened the meeting with a minute of silence for the 2 South Simcoe Police Service officers killed in line of duty. Again, our condolences to their family, friends, and colleagues. Committee formally welcomed Craig Williams as the town's new fire chief. We wish Chief Williams great success in the role. Chief Williams reviewed monthly fire department stats. The department responded to 2 structure fires, 4 motor vehicle collisions, 4 carbon monoxide calls, and 100 medical calls. Committee is recommending the council approve the holiday drag show for Friday, November 25th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Recplex, and further that the town allot up to $5,000 from the new event sponsorship line in the special events budget for the show. Finally, Committee received a letter from the OPP outlining policing budget requirements for Wasaga Beach for 2023. Committee is recommending that Council forward the town's portion of the 2023 Huronia West OPP budget to Committee of the Whole as a budget committee for consideration as part of the 2023 budget. The total portion of Wasaga Beach is $5.2 million for 2023, an increase in policing costs of $214,273. On behalf of the Community Service Section of Coordinated Committee, I ask that Council approve the recommendations in this report. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you. Are there any questions of Councillor Kinney's report? Okay, moving on to Public Works, Councillor Watson.
Thank you, Your Worship. And the following are the highlights from the October 13th, 2022 Public Works section of Coordinated Committee. Committee is recommending that Council designate streets in the following park areas as community safety zones in accordance with the Ontario Traffic Manual: Bateau Park, Blueberry Trails Park, Chase Family Park, Deer Trail Park, Glendale Park, Red Berry Park, Red Oak Park, Wasaga Estates Park, Wasaga Village Park, William Arnell Memorial Park, Mills Park, and Wasaga Sports Park. In addition, committee is recommending a reduction of the speed limit in the vicinity of these parks with the new limit set at 40 kilometers per hour. Furthermore, committee is recommending council authorize staff to install community safety zone designated signage in the park areas with the Public Works capital signage account used to cover the costs. Full details are in the related staff report. Committee is recommending council approve the purchase of a new diesel tractor with cab from Stewards Equipment and Stainer at a cost of $148,000, excluding HST. Staff used an RFP process to select the preferred supplier. Committee is recommending use of the Public Works General Reserve to cover the budget shortfall related to the purchase. Committee is recommending council receive for information on October 4th letter from the Solicitor General regarding the new Ontario Provincial Police Detachment Board framework. These new boards will replace current police services boards and community safety advisory committees, expanding opportunity for civilian input into local policing. The province is working towards an implementation date between fall 2023 and winter 2024 and proposes finalizing the composition of the new boards by November 30th, 2022. On behalf of the Public Works section of Coordinated Committee, I ask that Council approve the recommendations in this report.
Okay, thank you. Any questions of Councillor Watson's report? Okay, moving on to Development Committee, Councillor Foster, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. The following are the highlights of the October 13th, 2022 Development Services section of Coordinated Committee. Committee is recommending that Council approve an application to extend draft plan of subdivision approval, file number PS 0116, for Sunnyview Estates Construction, Inc., developers of the Gulfview Estates subdivision. The subdivision consists of 3 distinct parcels of land that front on Golf Course Road and 1 parcel that forms an extension of Wesley Avenue and Douglas Drive, with a total of 75 lots to accommodate single detached dwellings. Committee also received for information the Building Department activity summary for September. For the month, the department issued 35 building permits with a construction value of $4.3 million. To date this year, the department has issued 389 permits with an estimated construction value of $168 million. Finally, committee received for information the Economic Development Officer's October activity report. The report included updates on the Wasaga Beach Farmers Market, the comprehensive wayfinding strategy, the advisory committee on tourism, plus a variety of other items. On behalf of Development Service section of Coordinated Committee, I ask that Council approve the recommendations in this report. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions of Councillor Foster's report? Okay, moving on to General Government, Deputy Mayor Bray, please.
Thank you, Mayor Byfolchi. The following are the highlights from the October 13th General Government section of Coordinated Committee. Committee is recommending Council authorize an exemption to the Firearms Control Bylaw so that Paul and Marcia Ryther can hold a controlled deer hunt on their 100-acre farm at 26 Ryther Road. The exemption is for a 5-day period and is subject to standard yearly conditions outlined in the related staff report. Committee is recommending Council direct staff to establish a working group to explore the potential creation of a sister city arrangement with a municipality outside of Canada. The arrangement can result in several benefits for each community, including tourism opportunities, youth and adult exchange opportunities, and economic development opportunities. Committee received the 2023 budget schedule for information. The schedule outlines key dates in the process the town uses to establish the annual budget. Staff are already working on creating draft department budgets. Council will begin its work on December 1st when staff provide an overview of the town's finances. A series of subsequent meetings involving council and staff will take place later in December and continue through January, February, and March. Final approval of the budget is set for March 30th, 2023. Committee passed a motion directing the CAO to engage in discussions with representatives of the Greater Metro Junior A Hockey League to obtain information on what is required for a team to play at the new Twin Pad Arena and Library. The CAO will also have discussions with other leagues that have expressed interest. Following discussions, the CAO will report his findings to Council and recommend the next steps. Committee then moved into closed session to discuss personnel matters and property matters. Back in open session, committee confirmed its closed session direction. On behalf of the General Government Services section of Coordinated Committee, I ask that Council approve the recommendations in this report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any questions of Deputy Mayor Bray's report? Okay, we have a motion, that Council receive the Coordinated Committee reports of October 13th, 2022 as circulated and approves all actions contained therein. A mover and seconder, please. Councillor Foster and Councillor Kinney. All those in favor? And that is carried. We have a motion from the Executive Assistant that Council receive the information report pertaining to proclamations and flag raisings for the month of October 2022 for information. A mover and seconder, please. Councillor Wells, Councillor Watson. All those in favor? And that is carried. Customer Service Coordinator's report regarding the Woodworkers Club, that Council approve a one-year facility lease agreement with the option to extend annually for up to 4 additional years with the Wasaga Beach Woodworkers Club, Inc. in the amount of $300 per year. If I can have a mover and seconder, please. Councillor Kinney and Deputy Mayor Bray. Any discussion? Oh, sorry, I think I missed the last part of that, so I'm going to read it again. Moved by Councillor Kinney, seconded by Deputy Mayor Bray, that Council approves a one-year facility lease agreement with the option to extend annually for up to 4 additional years with the Wasaga Beach Woodworkers Club, Inc. in the amount of $300 per year, and further that Council authorize the Mayor and Clerk to execute the agreement and subsequent extensions as needed. Councillor Watson?
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm very happy to see this coming forward with this extension for the Woodworkers Club. They do such great work in the community. They are part of the Little Library program in Wasaga Beach. They built all of those, and they certainly attend different events and teach the kids construction lessons and building birdhouses and so forth. So thank you.
Thank you for those comments. And with that, all those in favor? And that is carried. Next is from the Director, Recreation, Events and Facilities, that Council receives this report related to special event programming direction for information. A mover and seconder, please. Councillor Foster, Councillor Kinney. Any discussion? All those in favor? And that is carried. Economic Development Officer's report, that Council received the RT07 Wayfinding 2022 Phase RFP 2022 EDO 01 report dated October 20th, 2022 for information. A mover and seconder, please. Councillor Belanger, Councillor Kinney. Any discussion? All those in favor? And that is carried. Next is a report from our Planning Department that staff recommend to Council that applications for draft plan of subdivision PS 0118 and zoning bylaw amendment Z0318, inclusive of modifications recommended by town planning staff in this report dated October 20th, 2022 be approved, and that all written submissions received in regard to the applications and all oral submissions made at the statutory public meeting held on February 19th, 2019 relating to the applications have been taken into consideration as part of the deliberations and final decision related to the approval of the applications for draft plan of subdivision PS 0118 and zoning bylaw Z0318, and that pursuant to the Planning Act, the following statement shall be included in the notice of decision. Regard has been had for all written and oral submissions received before the decision was made in relation to these planning matters as considered in the report on applications for draft plan of subdivision PS 0118 and zoning bylaw amendment Z0318 presented to council on October 20th, 2022. If I can have a mover and seconder, please. Councillor Foster and Councillor Kinney, and I will note that Councillor Watson has pulled away from the table due to his previously declared conflict. Any discussion? Councillor Belanger?
Thank you, Your Worship. I just have a few questions. One was, during previous meetings and discussion, there was indication about emergency access, and I see where they have finalized that the trail will be a secondary emergency. I don't recall where, about snow removal on that trail. Will that snow removal be maintained on the trail?
Samantha, you'll join us?
In terms of snow removal,
Could you speak a little louder? You might need the mic closer to you.
okay, so are you able to hear me okay now?
Yeah.
Okay. In terms of snow removal on the trail, we have added a condition within the draft plan conditions that the trail be maintained at all times, including winter maintenance.
Okay, thank you. There's also a cash in lieu of parkland, and there is a park in the southwest corner. And will there be access from this subdivision to that park as well?
The proposed trail that goes from Zoo Park Road over to Northgate would have an access over to the existing park on Leo Boulevard.
Okay, thank you. And is cash in lieu for parkland, is that discretionary to council, or does that have a specific use? And I don't believe it indicated an amount either.
So in this case, in terms of the 5% land conveyance, as no lands are being dedicated within the subdivision, it would be the 5%, as well as we do have a condition in the draft conditions that a financial contribution go towards the improvement of Leo Park.
Okay, thank you. And my last question, and this might be more for Doug Herron, but I believe the lot coverage increased to 49 and 44%. I believe that was clarified at a previous meeting, that was not a precedent, that we had, that was in line with the official plan that will come forward. So I thought for public information that we could confirm that.
Through you, Your Worship, I would ask for clarification on the question. On this application, there is no application for amendment to the official plan. So I understand that the question is generalized towards where we're going with our new official plan, but if the councillor could clarify.
Well, in the report, it said developer is requesting interior town home lot coverage to be increased to 49%. And exterior home lot coverage to 44% in the report.
Through you, Your Worship, the criteria that is being requested is not necessarily related to official plan policies, but is directly related to zoning bylaw criteria. So there is, they are asking for an enhanced building footprint on each of the lots. Part of that is because the lots tend to be smaller than what our old zoning bylaw allows for. So the common building form these days tends to fit on a bigger footprint. That's a ratio. There's nothing in the official plan that would direct footprint sizes. That's something that's very specific to the zoning bylaw. In terms of moving forward for growth policies, that's something that staff will be looking at as we update the town's official plan and the town's zoning bylaw in terms of protecting the character of neighborhoods, especially long-established neighborhoods, with low density and the tree coverage. But there's an acknowledgement that, you know, the size of the lots may vary, but that is something that would be completely open for discussion with public forums through the OPA and ZBA BA updates.
Thank you. Through you, Your Worship. So would this be a precedent for lot coverage for this kind of build, or have we gone to this level before?
Through your worship, I can't think of actual coverage numbers that we've applied on other projects, but we have had projects where there is higher coverage, and in particular, there's the Coventry, with the townhouses on Coventry, which tend to have a higher coverage. Almost everything we've done in the New England Village/Elm developments tend to have higher coverages. So what we're seeing with this application seems to be a trend, and it's, in a general opinion, it's just reflective of our very old 2003 bylaw, which required much larger lots.
Thank you for the clarification.
Okay, thank you both. I've read the motion. All those in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. Next is a report from the Director of Finance and Treasury that Council approved the 2023 budget schedule as amended for meeting start time for March 30th, 2023. If I can have a mover and seconder, please. Councillor Kinney. Councillor Foster, was that your hand up? Any discussion? All those in favor? And that is carried. Human Resource Coordinator and Chief Administrative Officer's report that Council approved the proposed electronic monitoring policy for employees, students, contractors, volunteers, and any individuals that use or access premises, devices, or computer networks of the town. A mover and seconder, please. Councillor Watson and Councillor Kinney. Any discussion? All those in favor? And that is carried. We have a motion that Council approve the updated tangible capital asset disposal policy effective November 1st, 2022. A mover and seconder, please. Councillor Foster, Councillor Kinney. Any discussion? All those in favor? And that is carried. A motion that Council adopt the updated Healthy Community Network Advisory Committee terms of reference. A mover and seconder, please. Councillor Kinney and Deputy Mayor Bray. Any discussion? All those in favor? And that is carried. Moving on to community announcements, we will start with Councillor Watson today.
Thank you, Your Worship. I had the pleasure of attending the Stainer Granite Club annual general meeting last week. It's noteworthy in regards to the fact that the membership of the Stainer Curling Club is at least 2/3 made up of Wasaga Beach residents. I also had the pleasure of participating in the Thanksgiving Food Bank day of taking hampers to their clients throughout town on a delivery service. So that was a lot of fun doing that, meeting people. The Rotary Club of Wasaga Beach held their first fundraiser since COVID. It was called Pints and Plaid at the Recplex, and it went over quite well. Everyone had a good time, good music, good dancing, and they made a little bit of money out of it too, which is great. The Mills Park opening was very exciting. I wasn't able to attend. I got here a little bit later, but it's very nice to see that park up and going now. Attended the flag raising for the Provost Club month yesterday. We had all 5 clubs represented at the flag raising. And I also was at the Mayor's Breakfast hosted by the Chamber of Commerce a few days ago. Her Worship spoke very well at that event. There was a nice little crowd, and there's also a guest speaker there because they were celebrating Small Business Week. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Kinney.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'd like to start off with recognizing the Accessibility Advisory Committee and our Wasaga Beach Fire Department. As on Saturday the 1st, the two came together at the Wasaga Beach Foodland, and they raised 625 pounds of food, $1,300 in cash, all going and contributing to the Wasaga Beach Ministerial Food Bank. At this time, Your Worship, I'm going to use my final 2 minutes just to thank the public that 4 years ago had faith in me and voted me in. To that same public, I'd like them to, first of all, remember it's very important to vote. If you don't vote, then you really can't complain. And when you do vote, please don't rely on a single source of information. Elections are too convoluted just to rely on one. And vote wisely, please. I'd like to take this time to thank all staff for their respect they've given me, their professionalism, and their understanding, because I keep on saying I was a new kid on the block, so I really appreciate that. And finally, to my fellow councilors, I'd like to thank you for the previous 4 years. The respect and, again, professionalism, understanding has been great. I've enjoyed my time here, and I hope everyone is successful in their endeavors in the future. Thank you, Worship.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Bray?
Thank you. So I'll quickly go through the list that Councillor Watson mentioned that I had attended, and one was the Probus flag raising. Again, it was great to see so many out. The Chamber of Commerce Mayor's Breakfast, again, it's always a good event. It celebrates Small Business Week, of which truly is the engine for our economic growth for our country, and I think we really need to respect and support small business. I was here for the reopening of Mills Park. There were so many people that were watching that construction for a long time. It seems like forever when you're a young kid and your playground is closed, so thank you for getting it reopened, and I'm sure lots will enjoy it in the years to come. We were very excited to see the roundabout still works. Just a little safer than the old one, perhaps. Continued with county council meetings, Twin Pad Arena and our library construction steering group meetings. Attended the Hootenanny, which was a great community event. Great to see lots of people out there enjoying themselves. The goat yoga was a new introduction, and it looked like a lot of fun. So maybe next year we could have goats at council one day. I think they say when you take your dog to work that you have happier people, so maybe there's some merit to bringing animals to our working environment. We had Healthy Community Network, we had the Advisory Committee on Tourism, attended a great Indigenous art exhibit from the Wasag Society for the Arts. And my final comment would be to follow up on Councillor Kinney. 33% of Wasaga Beach has voted. Last election we had 46%. It's amazing. We typically trend above the provincial and the national average. Just pulled a quick statistic from BC, whose municipal elections just wrapped up, and they had 37%. So we're almost there, and we still have 3 or 4 days to vote. So way to go, Wasaga Beach. Please vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Wells?
Thank you, Your Worship. During the past month, I did attend the Wasaga Society for the Arts display of Indigenous art, a spectacular display. It's still ongoing until sometime in early November. If you check with the Wasaga Society for the Arts, they'll give you the opening hours. This is a display of art that has been provided by one of our local residents, David Spector. And David has been collecting Indigenous art for a number of years and is, I guess, would be considered an expert in Indigenous art, and did a great introduction to it at the official opening. I did attend the Rotary Pints and Plaid. It's, again, a fun event. Lots of, as has been mentioned, dancing and just good socialization. Attended the Hootenanny. Lots of children having a great time. Lots of parents enjoying seeing their kids having a great time. I attended the funeral for Marlene Hayes, and I just want to acknowledge Marlene as a resident of our community who passed away. But Marlene was a very active volunteer, sometimes outspoken, but very much involved in the activities of her Anglican church. Also very much an active member of our community policing committee, and also a very active member of one of the women's Probus clubs. And so I just want to acknowledge her passing. She will be missed. Attended the opening of the Mills Park Playground. And every time I'm here now, I see lots of young people enjoying that playground. Certainly, it's unique for this community, the rubberized pad that is underneath it, and the type of activities that are presented within the playground is something to be recognized. Did attend the mayor's breakfast and enjoyed the speaker speaking on entrepreneurship and digital marketing. A young man who, well, young compared to me, a young man who has done very, very well for himself in terms of entrepreneurship and digital marketing, and attended the Probus Month flag raising. Just to continue on for a moment, this is our last official meeting of this council, and so what I would like to do is say thank you to our CAO and to all of the staff, all of our department heads, and all of the people that work in every department for the support, for their effort and their dedication on behalf of this town. They are to be commended, right from the heads of the departments to every employee that works under the town. So I'm the CAO, I ask you to pass that along on my behalf. It's been a pleasure serving this community over the past 4 years and a few years before that. We've accomplished quite a bit in the last 4 years. We have a new arena and library well underway, a casino. Granted, it was not a town project, but certainly our planning and building staff have contributed greatly to the fulfillment of that casino project. Our beachfront development is moving forward, and I'm looking forward to seeing it start to take shape in the near future. Relocation of our utilities on River Road West is ongoing, so we can hopefully in the next few years see the expansion, or the next couple of years see the expansion of River Road West from Veterans Way. We have reestablished a very strong relationship with the Simcoe County District School Board and have begun negotiations to partner with the school board to provide expanded and enhanced facilities in the new schools that will be available for municipal use in non-school hours. And that's a great partnership. And we're ending our term in a very, very strong financial position. So I'm very proud of what we've achieved in the past 4 years, and I look forward to seeing the town moving forward in the next several years to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and thank you for recognizing Marlene. She really was a great lady and will be missed in our community. Councillor Belanger?
Thank you, Your Worship. Yes, I also attended the Society of the Arts exhibit. It was excellent. Also attended Lynn Crockford Art Show last month. She's a very talented local artist, primarily in watercolors. The grand opening Mills Park, and just to remind people again, a lot of tree planting went into that area as well, and some trees that were struggling were removed. The Probus clubs, the director for this area had indicated that nationally they had lost 6 clubs because it's so hard to get people to volunteer for the boards and executives or committees that run those clubs. But we are very fortunate in Wasaga Beach. We have 5 clubs operating and providing social events, entertainment, and fun for seniors and learning. Had a great number of resident meetings over the past month, and that's it for me. Thank you.
Okay, Councillor Foster?
Thank you, Your Worship. Earlier this month, I was interviewed on CBC Ontario Morning about the resolution I brought forward about strengthening the penalties for the Code of Conduct. That was interesting. Again, as Councillor Kinney had mentioned, this will be my last term in office, so I wanted to take a moment. And I kind of mentioned some of this earlier, but I'll try it again. It's been an honor and a pleasure to sit at this table for 15 years. I thank all the people who chose to put their trust in me. And for those who didn't, I respect your right to be wrong. Just kidding. To my fellow councillors, both past and present, I thank you for the time and energy you gave to the town. I can say for the most part we shared a common goal, but that doesn't mean we always agreed, and that's okay. Thank you to the staff of the town over there. It's through your hard work that council can function. I challenge you to continue to work during these tumultuous times. You provide the expertise that council and the town need. So thank you. Finally, but never last, thanks to my family. They're the sole reason that I try to improve my world. I may indeed leave this job somewhat a broken person due to cancer, death, COVID, etc. But I'm proud of all that I've been part of, and I wish the new council the best. If our town is to mend and move forward, it is critical to hear and not just listen. Be kind, and if I had a mic, I'd drop it.
Thank you, Councillor. My report, I attended my regular meetings that I normally do each month, as well as many of the events that have already been mentioned, so I won't reiterate those. I'll just say it's been a pleasure to serve this community for 16 years as your mayor. I am extremely proud of council and our staff, all of them. We've accomplished everything that we said at the beginning of this term, despite COVID, and not all communities have been fortunate enough to be able to say that. So heartfelt thanks to council members as well as all staff from all departments for your commitment to our community. And I wish everybody all the best with whatever happens in their future. With that, I will say I missed something on Councillor Watson's declaration. There's also bylaw number 2022-69, so you'll also be declaring on that as well, correct? Okay, thank you. Notices of motion, we have none. Motions where notice has been previously given, we have none. Calling of committee meetings, Mr. CAO. We're not going to let him talk today.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I might have a defective microphone there. So we're looking at November, so barring any call for a special council meeting, there will be no further council meetings of this council. So the inaugural meeting is the 15th of November, which will be followed shortly thereafter with a committee of the whole meeting, which will be the first day of orientation of the new council. And then on the 24th, we have our coordinated committee meeting, 9 a.m. in the council chamber, and that will continue with a new council orientation. And the council meeting for November is in fact December 1st. So on your calendar, it will be December 1st as Thursday, 2 p.m. So that is the meeting schedule for the coming month, Your Worship.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to bylaws. I will read them all except for 2029-69. We'll do that after, and then you can pull away. Resolved that the following bylaws be received and be deemed to have been read a first, second, third time passed and numbered as follows. 2022-68, a bylaw to adopt a procurement policy. 2022-70, a bylaw to amend the terms of reference for the Age-Friendly Community Advisory Committee and to repeal bylaw number 2021-66. 2022-71, a bylaw to adopt a policy for tangible capital assets and to rescind bylaw 2011-101. 2022-72, a bylaw to authorize a memorandum of understanding for the provisions of special operations services with the City of Barrie. 2022-73, a bylaw to authorize the entering into of an agreement with Wasaga Beach Woodworkers Club for the use of cabin number 6 as their clubhouse, 2022 to 2023. 2022-74, a bylaw to adopt the terms of reference for the Healthy Community Network Committee and to repeal a bylaw 2018-25. And 2022-75, a bylaw to authorize the execution of an electronic monitoring policy, HRP 3-3.15 for the town of Wasaga Beach. If I can have a mover and seconder, please. Councillor Foster and Councillor Wells. All those in favor? And that is carried. And we'll go back to item 2022-69. If I can have a mover and seconder, Councillor Kinney, Deputy Mayor Bray, and we'll note that Councillor Watson is pulled away from the table. 2022-69, a bylaw to amend Town of Wasaga Beach Comprehensive Zoning Bylaw number 2003-60 as amended. All those in favor? And that is carried. Closed session, I'll just ask if there's a need to go into closed session based on what was in your package. Okay. So we will go to 15.1. Resolved that council receive the following closed session reports as circulated and approves all actions contained therein. Coordinated Committee, October 13th, 2022, closed session minutes. If I can have a mover and seconder, please. Councillor Kinney and Deputy Mayor Bray. All those in, Councillor Belanger?
Just that I was absent from one of those items. I don't know if that has to be acknowledged or not.
I'll look to the clerk.
So, sorry, you declared on one of the items? Is that what you're?
One of the closed items I didn't.
You did not. It is noted in the minutes. Yes.
Okay, all those in favor? And that is carried. And confirmatory bylaw, resolved that a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the Council of the sorry, Councillor Foster?
I don't want to stop you, Your Worship, but since this is the last resolution for myself and Councillor Kinney, I will automatically volunteer to move it. Councillor Kinney might consider seconding it as his last official. So carry on. You know who your mover and seconder are.
Okay, so it is moved by Councillor Foster, seconded by Councillor Kinney. Resolved that a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the Council of the Corporation of the Town of Wasag Beach at its regular meeting held Thursday, October 20th, 2022 be received and be deemed to be read a first, second, and third time, passed and numbered 2022-76. All those in favor? And that is carried. Thank you, everyone. Have a great afternoon.